Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm up a little earlier today because I'm doing something a little different. All my videos so far have been made right on my little stove here in my RV. So I thought I'd do something a little different. And we're going to go out and do something on the smoker today. If anybody that knows me knows that I do a lot of my cooking on the smoker. And one of my favorite things and one of the most easiest things, especially for beginning smokers, is the pork shoulder or the pork butt. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to give you my version of it, and it seems to work pretty well because people really enjoy eating it. And this particular one I'm making is for some guys at work that helped me with my mechanic issue on my car. So let's get started. And so this recipe is very simple. We got the pork shoulder butt here. You don't want the picnic, you want the butt. So the picnic ones are really tough and you have to keep them on the smoker just a little bit longer. That's what I've found in my time of doing this. Very simple ingredients. We want the rubs back here. You can get whatever rub you like. I would tell you to stay away from the rubs that have sugar in them, because what happens is sugar in a smoker likes to turn black and burn. So you want, with salt and other spices in it, try to avoid the ones with the sugar, because it will turn black and it will get really a nasty kind of taste to it as it smokes. Later on, as you're cooking, you can add other things that have sugar in them, like I'm going to be spraying over here with the apple cider vinegar and a little bit of honey mixed together in the spray bottle. But that's after 2 or 3 hours of it already sitting in there and getting the smoke on it. And then we'll just put these in here and get this started. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to cut these open. And I'm going to set them in these pans right here, because I'm going to be putting these, I'm going to actually be using these pans to put the spices on my pork butt. And then also I'm going to have it underneath the smoker rack, where it's going to be catching all the drippings as it goes and smokes through the rack. Let me throw this away. And then that's one. I got a nice little chunk here that I'm going to actually take off a while, because I see it sitting here a while. We're going to take that off. I'm going to throw that to the side. Put that over there for now. Again, we're going to open this one up. Okay. And if you see, I'm putting the fat side up on this for now, because I'm going to score the fat, so when I season it, the seasoning will soak down in there and get into that. I'm going to put this piece of fat to the side because I don't want to use that big chunk. All right, we're going to trim it just a little bit more, get that chunk of fat off of there. Now you don't want to do too much trimming on your butt here, because this fat, when it smokes and it all renders down and turns into like a gel, these are some of the best little tasting morsels you'll have to eat. So I'm going to score this the whole way across. Lucky for me, I got my Victorinox knife here that I'm using. This is what I usually cut a lot of my meats with. Easy to sharpen up. Now these have the bone in them, and you're just going to let that stay in there, because at the end, when you pull that bone out, that's going to know when you're done, because when it comes out, it's just going to slide right out of there like has grease on it. None of the meat will stick to it. So okay, so we got that one scored. We're going to score this one. The fat on this one's a little bit different. You just want like 1 inch by 1 inch cubes on the meat. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out one of my gloves here. They're all stick together. I'm going to get me out a glove here to put on. And pork is very sticky, especially when you let it sit out for a little bit. It needs to have been sitting out for a little while. And so we don't really have to put a binder on this. You can if you want. You can use mustard or hot sauce or mayonnaise or all these different things, warm water like they do at Goldie's. But these are pretty sticky to begin with. So I'm going to start loading them up with some seasoning a while. All right, we're going to dump the seasoning on there. Get a nice amount on there. This is a big chunk of meat, so you can really load this up with the spice. And at the end, you're still going to see when you shred this down, that you're going to need to put probably a little bit more on anyway. All right, we're going to get that all down in those little cracks. Okay, got some on the side there. Now I'm going to put a little of this other one on there. And again, this is your preference. You put on whatever spice you like. I like to have mine really bold flavor. Well, this one here ain't coming up very well, so I'm going to open it up. Oh. It's okay. We'll just spread that around. And then, of course, Lowry seasoning salt. Just want a little bit of that on there. Okay, push that in there. And we're going to turn it over on the side. We're going to get some of that to fall off of there, which is a-okay because it's inside this bin. And we can use that to, when we go to put it on the smoker, to dip it down in there and make sure all the sides are covered, make sure if there's any spots that are open. I'm going to pat this in there. Again, we're going to put some of this on there. You might think this is a lot of spice. Like I said, though, it's a big chunk of meat. And as you're spraying it and it's cooking, it's going to come down some. And at the end, you'll still probably, well, I always have to add, when I shred the meat up, you always got to add a little bit of that spice in there. Just because, like I said, it's so thick. All right. You see that one looks good. Make sure I got a little on the sides here. Okay. We're going to continue and do it with the second one, and then we'll get ready to stick it on the smoker. Okay, guys. So I am cheating today with the Rectech pellet grill, or pellet smoker. It's a pellet grill. It's not really a smoker, but you can use it as that. I do have a full-size regular smoker back there, but I'm going to be cheating because it's Sunday and it's football day, so I'll be watching football as well. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to take out the rack here, and I'm going to take these pork butts here, and I am going to put them on this rack, and I'm going to put the fat side up. Okay. Make sure these are dipped in all them spices, everything good. Fat side up. Oh, upside down. Yep, fat side up. There we go. Now, the reason I made that little gap in that rack there is I'm going to put these underneath to catch all the grease, because these things will put off a lot of grease, and next thing you know, your grill will be on fire and you'll have flare-ups. Okay, now let me get a towel here. And then we'll put this rack back in. Okay, let me make sure I'm on the right hook here, how I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to pick this up and we're going to put it right back in there, right on top of those. Okay, wipe my hands off here and we'll give you another look. See, we got the pans underneath there. As this fat comes out, we'll go in those pans because we're going to use those pans later, and some of that juice and fat coming off there we'll also use later. So I have my Rectech set at 250. It was warming up. I wanted it to go up so it could cook some stuff off, make sure there's nothing on there, and then the probe is what I'm going to put into the biggest one. Push that right into like the center of the meat. Okay. And excuse me. So now we will let that go for approximately 3 hours. So it starts to get its first little crust on there. Man, they look good. And then we'll come out and start spraying them. See all that smoke rolling off there? I hope you can see that. That's all flavor. That is all flavor. So I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to enjoy my mimosa that my daughter and my grandkids got me for Christmas. There's all my grandkids. I love them so dearly. I get to see them this coming weekend. So let me get back to inside cleaning up, and we'll just let this sit here for like 3 hours until we come out and do our first spray. Okay guys, so it's only been about a little over 2 hours. I just want to come out and show you here real quick. There's the pellets in there, and they're hickory pellets. They're the ones that give you like the most rich wood flavor that you get when it's smoking. A lot of people use the different flavored like apple and cherry and stuff like that. I would do that if I was cooking like for a party or something like that, but again, this is just for something I'm throwing together for work, to thank the guys for helping with something. So like again, I usually let these go for about 3 hours, but man, look at the color on them. And you see how the fat is starting to split apart, and them little chunks right there, when this is cooked right and finished, man, that's gonna be like candy. So while I'm out here, I'm gonna spray these down. And so what I did was I mixed half a cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of water, warm water, and 2 tablespoons of honey. And I put it in a spray bottle, shook it all up, and now I'm gonna start spraying these down a little bit. So we're just gonna spray these down to get them all nice and shiny. Go the whole way around. And we don't need a lot in the beginning here, just because they have a lot of moisture that's going to still come out of them. And you can see there that the smoke is starting to pick back up. So right now we're sitting. It's going on about 2 hours. You can see our temp there. It's set at 250 and our probe says 93. So we're going to let them go, and we're going to spray them once an hour until they get to the stall of between 155 and 165, and then we'll be taking them off and wrapping them and go to the next step. Okay guys, so it's been now 6 hours. I've been spraying this every hour after the 3, well, 2 and a little. As you can see, these are coming out beautiful. All that fat on top's cracking open. Spray it down a little bit here. We still got a ways to go because right now it's still only sitting at 142 degrees. This is definitely a long process. This is not one that you think you can just cook up for a weekend party or something like that, and you start it, you know, like a regular grill and have it done in an hour or something. It's not going to happen like that. It's a big chunk of meat. You're cooking low and slow, and when this is done, it's just going to fall apart. But again, you can't rush this, and this will probably be like 8 or 9 tonight before this gets finished. That's why it's important to start early. All right, so when it comes up to temperature, gets into the stall range, then we'll be back. Okay guys, as you can see, we've hit the stall. It's sitting there at 154, and it's been sitting there for almost an hour. So there's what they look like now. They look really good. Still not done though. You can see there's leaking, and you can see down in the bottom pans here where the oil is starting to gather. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull these out. We're going to put them in those pans. I'm going to take these pans out from underneath the rack, put these in the pans. I'm going to take the bottle of juice here, and I'm going to pour half in each of one of them. Seal them up tight with aluminum foil. We're going to turn this temperature up to 275, and that will, being sealed inside that pan with aluminum foil, will help push through the stall. And then the next, we're looking at 2 to 205, and we'll start checking for tenderness, and then she'll be ready to go. Okay guys, so that's what they look like in there. We're going to take a sheet of aluminum foil here. We're going to seal these up. You want to get this as tight as you can. They're all sealed up there. We're going to put that one in a while. We're going to set up the second one. Okay, now this one here, I'm actually going to make a small hole in this one because I'm going to poke the probe inside there, because I don't have the wireless probes. I like to smoke, but I'm not that advanced. So what we're going to do here is, again, I'm going to take this probe and I'm going to stick it down inside here, and I'm trying to get right into the middle of the meat next to the bone. Okay, that should be good. That should give me a new reading here, and you'll see that the reading is coming up. That's the probe temperature right there, and she's climbing pretty fast. We're going to turn this up to 275, and we're going to let her start going. So it'll probably be dark when this hits its, I usually let these go to 203 to 205. I'll come out and poke it at that time. It's going to probably be dark, and after 9 o'clock by the time these are done. So what I will do is I will, once these hit their number, I will turn it down. The lowest this grill goes is down to 200. I will turn these down to 200 and let them sit, because I do not have a warmer or a food warmer to keep things warm, and these are going in the morning to work. So I will turn this down to 200 and let them sit in there and just rest. You want to let, when you're cooking these, you want to let these rest for minimum an hour. You can, you know, the longer the better, but minimum an hour. So by turning them down to 200, once they hit their temperature, will be like perfect. Tomorrow morning I can get them out, pull that bone out of there, and they'll be ready to go. Okay everybody, it is the next day. I'm here with my boss Frank. Hi Frank, how you doing? So we're going to open this up now. It's on the smoker, and it was resting in the oven at 150. We're going to pull it out now. Take a look at it. Oh my, look at that. Oh hell yeah. Then we're going to pull the bone here. Look at that, bone slides right out. That is perfect. Now normally you would, I'm at the shop here so I can't really do it now. Normally you would drain all this out, and you can get a grease separator where you can put the, drain off all the grease and have just the liquid left. But because I'm at work and I made this for the guys, they're gonna have to do that themselves. And on top of that, I made them also on an earlier video of mine, we have the potato salad. So there you go guys, hope you enjoy.